Happy New Year. May 2025 be the year you've been laying down the path of things to receive and the life you wanted to create. May it be manifested this year. Let's see what is coming up for 2025 as predictions, as energy, what is changing, what is shifting, and I get the feeling that there will be a lot of matters covered, and I'm saying get the feeling because I can understand my guides want me to cover a lot of things that I've been seeing. They help me see through time, and this is what this video will be about. Let's start with what was happening the last few years, which was a huge dark night of the soul for the collective, for many of us. And we've been on a path of doing a lot of inner work, a lot of shadow work. We are setting off a lot of layers that have been extremely difficult, that created an openness for us to make different choices and to be in a space that we will be embracing who we are in essence, not we would like to be, not who we thought we were, or even not who we thought we were becoming, which is kind of interesting to observe in real life, in everyday life, within self, within others. And the more you're working with clients, the more you will see that there is a huge shift taking place in every aspect of it. A lot of star seeds, light workers, healers, we will be called to change the way we share ourselves and our gifts with everyone. Be open to receive what makes you happy, what makes you feel excited, because there's some stagnancy with the previous mindset, with the previous services you were showing up. And for some of you, you may not have even to change your services. You will be changing though the way you connect with the energy, the way you read the energy, the way you give the insights to others, the way you do your readings. And that is amazing. Don't be afraid to be in that space of exploring once again how it feels like, what needs to change, how you would like to show up in a more positive, creative way, transformative way, because this is the point for all of us to step into that aspect of sharing in a very transformative way our gifts with everyone else. And most of us, we will be called to actually explore how it feels like to treat others with the most amazing heartfelt feeling, because when you're coming from your heart, you are exploring someone's sovereignty, you are exploring their lessons, you are exploring what is up next for them, and you are getting into a space of being the light, the guide, the one who brings in the insights that they always needed and wanted. And in that space, what you are recognizing is the healer within them, the teacher within them, the student within them, as you do with yourself, which is an amazing breakthrough to have with yourself, with your services, and with your clients. What is going on else? Divine feminine twin flames, or sacred flames, as I prefer to call them, are coming into union, and the union takes place slowly, gradually, in a way that is very transformative for both ends. Be aware that a lot of things that you thought you knew about sacred flames and twin flames will be shifting. I don't know why this is coming up. I don't know. I know where it's coming from, but I don't know why it's coming up. In a way that we will be called to see more than that we couldn't see before. We couldn't actually tap into. We couldn't see the transformative energy that was taking place. Even if you gave up on the twin flame connection, or it feels like you have, in some ways it's not a giving up, a surrendering. It's kind of an openness that the divine feminine stepped into that first, and the divine masculine is following. So, what we are doing is changing our ways of viewing self, of viewing the connection and the unity. And this is where the union takes place in the physical as well. Because for most of us, the union has already taken place in the 5D and above, as dimensions, as spaces. So, what we are bringing now down is the union in the physical in a different way than what we had in mind. It is happening, it is still there, it is for all of us that are ready. There's something that needs to be clarified, and Dolores Cannon is quite persistent with that, as is here with me, helping me and giving me some of the insights. Forget about how many years you've been on this path. Forget about how many years you may already know of your twin flame, because it doesn't work like that. There are some channeling, some messages that have come through, not from me, at this space, where they say that if you've been on this path for 10 years, you will be the first ones for the union. I'm sorry to spoil that for you, but it doesn't work that way. It works in a way that the more you have connected with yourself, the more you have awakened to your sovereignty, to who you are as a true essence, the more easy it becomes for you to connect with your twin flame, your sacred flame. So it's not about physical time. It is about the work you have done for yourself. And again, this is not a promise of the union. It is a promise for you individually, for yourself, to get into a space to understand that the union only signifies that for the union that has taken already place within you. And most of the times, when it comes to twin flames and sacred flames, it's not about bringing down that sacred love that we all imagine of and we think of and we have experienced in some ways with our twins. It's about understanding that this kind of love already exists within you, either there is a union or not in the physical. So when you have detached from that space of obsession, of wanting it to happen, of trusting that if it is for your highest good, it will happen, you are getting into a space of inviting in true love. No matter how it shows up, no matter where it shows up from, and you are in a space of truly respecting yourself by making choices for yourself and yourself alone. Because most of the times we make choices for ourselves in a way, in an indirect way, like I want to better myself because of that person. I want to lose weight because of that person. I want to expand and become better at my job because of that person. When you start detaching from all of these outside of you sources of motivation, and you are getting to feel that it is all about you, your experience, what you are co-creating with you, the universe, what you are co-creating for yourself, you're getting into a space of divinity that you haven't even thought as possible, and you're getting into a space of inviting in more true love into your life. So from that space, the union happens. And let's not forget that twin flame journey has to do with the enlightenment. It's not about getting in the physical. Of course, that's also true, okay, but getting in the physical with someone that feels the same frequency as you have, they have the same frequency as you, and feels amazing and mind blowing. There, yeah, that is true, that is true, but it's not about that. It's about your personal path, it's about your personal enlightenment, it's about your personal connection with self, the physical, and the divinity at the same time. Trinity. When you establish that for yourself, within yourself, then everything gets to be from a whole different perspective, more amazing, more beautiful, and you're becoming the beacon that attracts. Leaving that aside, because I think we covered a lot about twin flames. I don't want you to get bored if you're not interested in twin flames. Let's move on to the next chapter of this year. Last year's title that I was given was The New Dawn, and 2025. Oh, it's gonna be an interesting year, let's say that. We're gonna be having many transformative periods in a positive way this time. We've been doing a lot of work, inner work, deep work, shadow work, and it has been crazy. We were guided to lessons so many times that we lost kind of the trust in our guides. We felt kind of beaten up in many ways, and we were kind of, let me not have more lessons, I've had enough. We felt kind of restricting ourselves and not even trusting the guidance that is coming through, which is normal for many of us because we got into a space that our higher selves, along with our spirit guides, were leading us literally to what felt as traps so we can get more out in the open, more darkness out in the light, more lessons, and in many ways, although we felt disconnected, we felt betrayed, we felt even abandoned. We weren't. And I know it's hard to understand, but it was part of the training, part of the training. And they insist on that because the training had to do with one major lesson: how to learn to trust the good, the bad, the good, the ugly, or good in one word, okay? The bad, the ugly, and the good, so we can help build trust within self, understand that pain is kind of an illusion in some ways. Although we experience it in a very intense way, they stepped back, our spirit guides, in a way to help us see who is now creating the experience. It is our guides, it is ourselves. So we can build the sovereignty and the trust within self and not rely too much in many ways to our spirit guides. They always showed up whenever we needed them. For those of us who work with spirit guides for sessions, they were showing up absolutely, yes, they didn't abandon us, but the feeling was as if we were abandoned. And if you feel still in a way that I'm beaten up, I don't want to get into another trap, I don't want to get into another lesson, I've had enough of that. I'm actually too exhausted, too tired, because I am too. I get you, I fully get you, believe me. But get into a space to realize who you are, what you truly want, how you want it, what makes a difference. Check in with yourself if you still prioritize yourself or someone or something even outside of yourself. Many of us, as energy workers, we got into a space of feeling that we have to serve and we have to serve. And we put extra burden on ourselves in a way that wasn't creative, wasn't productive, wasn't useful. Not for us, not for any other person on this planet, not for the earth even. So when you recognize all of these signs of what do I prioritize and why do I prioritize that, you are getting into a space of reflection, observation, where you are coming from. If you are truly honest with yourself, if you are in a space that you honor who you are and what you enjoy, how you enjoy it, if it is truly in full alignment with you, you are getting into a space of saying no and understanding even mentally what is the trap, what is the lesson, what is coming up behind that, what is going on. Do I honor myself? Am I authentic with the choices I make? Authentic and honest with self, not with others. And it's not about sharing something and not being honest with the other person. It's about yourself. Are you honest? Are you authentic with yourself? Are you in your space of integrity? And being authentic and with integrity are both valuable lessons and values in your life that you only learn when you actually get into that experience mode where you experience yourself through the choices and the guidance you have received from your higher self, from your guides, even if it felt good and nice at the beginning for you, but you weren't exactly honest with yourself. So you have to sit back and reflect. It felt good as a choice. I wanted to make that choice. But what I got back in return was this, this, and that. So I didn't enjoy the result. So why this misalignment? If you were happy and excited to make a choice and you experienced it, but the results weren't good enough, weren't in alignment with you, there is some kind of misalignment of truth that took place at the beginning where you made the choice. So, if you go back and examine some of these examples that I'm mentioning in that way, what was the intention, the initial intention, what was the feeling I was having about that experience, what was the result after, how did I feel, did I enjoy it or not, or would I enjoy it if it was somehow differently. That kind of reflection will help you align again in a way that is meaningful for you and for your next experiences that will be similar in a way of how you make choices, what is your priority. Be open to set different intentions, be often open to try different things, to try who you want to become and what kind of set of choices is influencing you, how you can be more authentic with yourself, how you can be more in the space of integrity of who you are, because you are getting into a different higher alignment of who you are and how you're showing up to serve yourself first and then everyone else. This is a different kind of alignment we have to actually step into. Yeah, I have my sinuses problems. I'm sorry for that, but magic happens even if you are resting enough. Um, I'm asking my guides, what else is there for us? So they say about it was the new dawn, and as with everything, with every new dawn, there is a lot of space where we are still in a war, the night is still here, but the light is coming out, and that was 2024. Most of you, many of you, may have had already the experience of that higher frequency, of the flow of being in full alignment with your higher self, having fully integrated your shadow self, and how that feels like. So you have pretty much experienced what is coming up next, which is the day. From the new dawn, we are stepping into the day, the next day, the after day. So this is what we will be seeing. And we are, I want to say the first ones on this path, but it's not exactly the first ones, if it makes sense. But we are laying down the path for many others. So it's not about how it feels, if it feels right or wrong. It's about you and how you want that day to be. You already know what is coming up next. You already had your visions. You have laid down the path to walk it. Now is the time to walk the path. And to be in that space, you have built up your energy in the most amazing way you can imagine. Even if you feel beaten up yet, don't worry. You're gonna be receiving a lot more energy, a lot more upgrades, a lot more insights of how to step into that light without holding back, without being afraid, without having missed opportunities, because it felt like that for some. And for others, it felt like a failed project. I keep saying that, I don't know what it means. A failed project, a failed task. It feels like I tried to do something, but it feels like a failure. So we avoided some of those failures, but it felt still as a failure of it wasn't organized well from the beginning. And now we are getting into the space of having integrated that knowledge, that wisdom from these failures, because there's no failure, from spirit at least. That is the understanding. So we are stepping into the space of fully claiming the creative way of these projects and being in full alignment with who you are, how you show up, and in what way. I hope this makes sense. I know it was a lot to process. Please let me know in the comments if that resonates with you, all of these things resonate with you, if you have more interesting things to share. And they say that a lot of us, we will be receiving many new tools of how to integrate and embody who we are in essence. These tools are gonna be coming as mindset, they're gonna be coming as spiritual tools for us, they're gonna be coming as new ideas and epiphany moments of how to show up, how to create who you are, and how to share that with others. Things are shifting, just be open and receive and test the waters in the way that means something to you. Don't feel obligated to do anything differently unless you fully feel it. This is the message that is coming through. Unless you fully feel it, don't get into a space to integrate anything. Nothing works if it feels forced. So play with that, be in a space of exploring, keep building up your energy. It will show up in the best way for you. I think I am done with this video, for the things that needed to come through. I hope it resonates. Please reach out if you need any guidance, any help, and support in any way that I can be of use. And Happy New Year again. I hope everything goes in the best way for our highest good and with many blessings, love, abundance, and everything that we all need. The golden era is here. We are stepping into that golden light and we are laying down the path for ourselves and for everyone else.